Hello all, a very good afternoon and welcome to a special edition of Home Choir, the second in our series. I don't know how long it's going to be, but the second in our series of how to, use the new innovations in AI, artificial intelligence technology, to help you write songs. And we had a go last time with ChatGPT. I'm sure you all watching at the moment have heard of ChatGPT at the moment. It's very much of the now and very much in the zeitgeist. It was even mentioned on Radio 4 here in the UK, which means it is very much what everyone is talking about. Well, today we will have a look at some ChatGPT, but we'll also be including two other AIs, one in particular called SoundRaw, which allows you to actually create original royalty-free music, and I think that's going to be very, very interesting. We're also, if we have time, going to have a look at an art generator, and this logo here was created using this art generator. I do concede it's got a look of me. I said a man sits at a desk making music. Man with blonde hair and a beard sits at a desk making music whilst an android shows him how to use the computer. So that's what came up there. My posture is a little bit better than that, and I think I'm a little bit rounder of face and so on. But for the most part, I think it's really quite impressive. So that is ChatGPT, SoundRaw, and this arts generator, which is called BlueWillow. So more on that as we go. So we won't be doing huge amount of singing today. It's very much a case of, well, this is what the tools can do, and anyone who's interested in going and having a go at this, well, ChatGPT is completely free. BlueWillow is completely free. SoundRaw, you can play around with it for free if you want to download any of the music, and certainly if you want to use it in anything commercial, you need to pay for a license, which is around about £18 for a month. And just in full disclosure, I have bought a month's worth of SoundRaw so that I can make this video and so that I can show you how it all works, and I'm not going to get sued for creating some music and sharing it online. So if you want to help me with that, then please do subscribe to the channel. Do please, if you can, hit the like button and do let us know that you're enjoying this broadcast. Do share it with people if you think they'd enjoy it. It'll all help pay the bills. So I just need to check a few bits of sound. I am going to be using my instrument today. And I need to just check that we can hear a couple of things. So I have a bit of SoundRaw here ready to go. And I'm just going to make sure the sound isn't too loud. It has a tendency to be a little bit on the big side. It's great to see so many people here live today. I should be right with you. But just bear with me. 2 shakes of an artificial intelligence's tail. So I've asked it to find me. I don't want busy and frantic music. I want something acoustic, just so we can hear. Okay. Can we hear the guitar and drums? Okay, that's your first example of music created by AI. It is quite something. Well, look, there we are. I think we're ready to go. I will be showing you, in fact, I can quickly share the screen so you can see that's what SoundRaw looks like. I've also got BlueWillow ready to go. And ChatGPT, I asked it earlier on, just in case it was offline, and I think many of you appreciate that. I asked it to write me a song about a virtual choir, and it's done a pretty decent job. How about this? This is the chorus. In harmony, miles apart, love and peace in every heart. Alone but not, we sing as one. In this virtual choir, our new home begun. That's not bad. That's not bad. We'll take that. We'll certainly work with that. So that is our afternoon. How long the session's going to be, I don't know. I'll aim for half an hour, but it could be more like 40, 45 minutes. You're very welcome to drop in and disappear as you need to, those of you who are here live. And if you're watching later on, well, this obviously isn't the actual session. If you look in the timestamps, I will put a stamp in there so you can jump straight to the start of the session where I'm not doing all of the sound checks and welcoming everyone. But now I am going to welcome everyone who's watching. And if this is your first time to Home Choir, very, very warm welcome to our show today. My name is Ben. It's a huge pleasure to welcome you. And we are a thriving community of singers and people who just love good music and good company and having a lot of fun. And today we are looking, as I say, at using AI tools to help us in the quest to write the perfect song. Those of you who are watching but not necessarily in the chat today, hello to all of you, in particular to Helene and Bill and Val in California. Good morning to you. Hello to Sue and Tony. Hello to Sally and Annie and to Maureen and to Val and Huyen and Katie. Hello to Anne and Linda and Charlotte and Nikki and to anyone else who is watching live but isn't having a chat in the comments today. And then hello everyone over here, a fabulous crowd come along to see, well, what's what? And I know from some of your emails and some of your texts, you've been playing around with ChatGPT. A couple of you thinking it could actually be quite useful. I know that Dave is thinking about asking ChatGPT to help him write his book. And all I'll say is that what I seem to have experienced with it is that it could probably help, but I don't think it could do the work for you. Sorry, Dave. You're going to have to sit down and actually write the book. So hello, everyone over here. Who have we got today? Let's pop out the participants and see. So, good afternoon, Alison. Hello, Angela. Hello, Carol. Hello, Carolyn. Hello, Christine. Hello, Christine. Hello, Colette. Hello, Dave. Hello, Jill. Hello, Dorothy. Hello, Eileen. Hello, Liz. Hello, Emma. Hello, Fiona. Hello, Jill. Hello, Epi. Hello, Anna. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Jill. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Leslie. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Hello to Mike and Fiona. Hello to Mike. Hello to Nikki. Hello, Sheila. Hello, Susanna. Hello, Terry. Splendid to see everyone. There's Colette as well. Hi, Colette. Good afternoon. Hi, Kathy. I'd hate to miss anyone off the list. Fiona says, my husband is obsessed with ChatGPT. I mean, it is an incredible piece of technology. And the AI art generation, it doesn't really have very much to do with writing songs, if I'm honest. I'm going to frame it in terms of creating a piece of artwork which would serve as an image for the front of the CD or the front of the record cover or for the MP3 if you're thinking something a bit more contemporary. A little bit of a tenuous link, but I just want to show you this technology. I am fascinated by it. I really am. Hi Terry, thank you for that. And Dave is saying, I know even less about Ghanaian dance than Gambian dance. Well, you're in good company, Dave. So do enlighten us, please. Mike, I hope you're feeling better. Dear Carol, I hope you're feeling a bit better after your demanding day yesterday. Just big hugs to you. Hello to Guy. I hope you're having a good day. I mean, it's rather lovely here in South Gloss. If I just pull the curtain back. Gosh, it's very bright. And do give my very best to Andrea as well. Splendid. So a lot happened this morning. I heard a female dipper singing, but managed to get a short video for doing so. That sounds fabulous, Leslie. Wonderful. I also read that Lisa is waiting to have her car serviced. I hope all's well, Lisa. I hope it's a very cheap service. And Carolyn is always willing to learn new stuff. Well, once a teacher, Carolyn, always a teacher. I think you'll really like this. Hi, Stephanie. Got a grey day where you are? Well, let's see if I can share a bit of sunshine. Those of you who have a bit of sunshine going on where you are, if you're here live, pop a couple of suns in the comments, in the emojis for me, so that Stephanie can have a little bit of brightness on an otherwise grey day. But I think we should get started, everyone. I've got some really, I think, fascinating stuff to share with you today. So I think we should begin. Do make yourselves comfortable. Those of you, as I say, who've joined us for the first time today, do consider hitting the subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing. And we have huge amounts of great content here on Home Choir. Everything from music teaching, singing, lots and lots of choral music, and quite a bit of tech as well. So here we go. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second in our series, Using Artificial Intelligence Technology in the Quest for the Perfect Song. Now, last time we used the pretty much brand new technology, ChatGPT, and we discovered that it is an incredible piece of technology, but it's also not anywhere near ready in terms of helping us. Well, just by giving us chords and melodies and shapes and so on. It has a pretty decent understanding of some of the rudiments of music, but it has no spark. It has no real creativity in the musical sense, but it's rather good with language, and it's very good, obviously, at chatting. So some of you have gone away and had a look at that. Now, we're going to be talking to ChatGPT in a minute, but I want to introduce you to a total of 3 new technologies today. And the first one is called Sound Raw. And I'm going to show you this on screen. Here we go. And this is, the website is soundraw.io, and that's raw as in R-A-W rather than R-O-A-R, okay? And you can play around with this for absolutely free, no charge at all. If you, however, want to download it or you want to use it in any kind of commercial sense, you need to subscribe. It costs $18 for a single month, or if you want to buy an entire year, I think it's cheaper. And just as I said earlier, in full disclosure, I have bought a month's worth of SoundRaw so I can show you this and demo it, and hopefully won't get any kind of a slap on the wrist for sharing the music. So the way it works here, everyone, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to start with SoundRaw to give us some music. Then we're going to go over to ChatGPT and we're going to ask it to write us some words. And we're going to kind of combine them into my music sequencer software. And at the end, well, we're going to see if we can't generate a nice cover image for the album. So if we go to SoundRaw, we can see we've got various categories at the top. We've got mood, genre, theme, length, tempo, instruments, and so on. And I've already been playing around with this morning. I'm going to reset everything here. And it's going to have a think. Just bear in mind, with all of these technologies, everybody, it's not instant. You need to give the intelligence some time to think about things, and frankly, I don't blame it. Now, quite a lot of the styles on SoundRaw are aimed at a contemporary audience, and so there's an awful lot of quite heavy music. There's a lot of, sort of club-based and heavy, ponderous stuff with hard beats and so on, and we're going to try and keep things fairly light today. I'd quite like to see if we can't write a song about the joys of singing in a virtual choir, because frankly, I think we all can empathise with that. So I'm going to go across here and I'm going to click genre, and you can see we're from hip-hop, drum and bass, trap, Tokyo night pop. I mean, I'm sure this is what you all have playing on your music players at the moment, but I'm going to go for something a little bit gentler. I'm going to click acoustic, and that will filter out all of the heavy electronic stuff, all the tropical house beats, and it's going to leave us with a whole load of other tracks. Now, all of these have been generated right now, and when I press this button, we are going to hear a piece of music that has never been heard before. And if I'm not happy with the selection I've got here, I can even say create more. But I think, what have we got here? 15. That'll do for now. Now, it has described here, we've got descriptions: funny, happy, peaceful, laid back; dreamy, happy, hopeful, laid back, peaceful. These are all sounding quite nice. I like peaceful, happy, romantic, hopeful. Let's have a listen to that. So I click the play button and it will give me a preview. Here we go. So it's thinking. Little outro. So that was about, what, 35 seconds, 33 seconds of music with a guitar and a little bit of drums going on. Now, this is the basic layout editor here. You can see it's got an energy bar, and I love this. I wish I'd had access to something like this when I was teaching music. I'd love to be able to say something, I love this, but it needs more energy or less energy. And of course, that's just about how much is going on in the music. Low energy, well, that's going to be fairly quiet, fairly sedate. Very high levels of energy, going to be a little bit more active. Perhaps the notes will move faster. Perhaps we'll have a little bit more going on. And if I click here, I can actually say, let's start with medium energy. And we'll then drop to low, and then we'll go up to high energy, and then we'll have our outro. Now, let's just have a little listen. We won't listen to the whole thing, but you'll see it's a different design now. Let's have a listen. Okay, so all we got was a little bit of jingle bells. Not sure what that's about. And then the high energy. Okay, so we get the idea. Now, something went a little bit astray in the first section. So what I'm going to do is click Pro mode here. And we can see we're now breaking things down into melody, backing, bass, and drum. And you can see some of these are grayed out. And if it's grayed out, that means it's not going to play. If I click it, it goes light blue and then a darker shade of blue if I want it to be more prominent. So this first section, there was no melody and all we had was a weird sort of drum thing. So I'm going to do it the other way around. I'm going to turn off the drums. I'll turn off the backing and just have melody and bass in the first section. And then in the second one, I'll bring the drums in, keep the melody. And then in the third section, I'm going to make things a bit more animated, a bit busier. Now, at the moment, it's only 30 seconds long, which is fine if you're creating a jingle, but it's a little bit on the short side for a choral piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look down here, and you can see I'm indicating with the mouse. We've got a length bar here, so I'm going to actually add in a few more sections, and it's generating kind of random selections, but I still have granular control. I can go through and I can change these. And you might think, okay, well, that's nice and simple. I think I can have a go at that. And of course you can. This is all for free until you download it, until you want to use it in a project. You can play around with this. Just go to SoundRaw and start clicking. Just bear in mind, a quick word of warning. Make sure your computer volume is turned down because the initial settings are quite loud. And when I was playing around with this earlier on, I got the fright of my life when I pressed play on a couple of these. So just bear that in mind. Now, additionally, we've also got some other controls. Now, these aren't anywhere near as involved and detailed as you'd need in order to be able to get in and add, as people are saying in the comments. Can you add tritones and hemiolas and so on, showing off their knowledge of music theory? The answer is no, you can't, but it is really quite impressive what you can change. So BPM, we've got options here, 80, 90, 100. Let's go for 100 BPM. Let's go for feeling a bit more optimistic and upbeat. Then, so it has to have a think. Then instruments. And I've got some selections. I've got guitar, wood bass, and I can swap guitars and have a different bass. Let's have guitar 1 for the backing, and let's have drum 1. I click apply, and it always needs to have a little think, 'cause it's generating new material, generating new music. And when it pops back, we'll be able to have a little listen. There's also a range of keys. So if it doesn't fit with the key that it's chosen, you can change the key. You can also change the volume, if I click here, of the different parts. You've got a melody, you've got backing, bass and drum, and you've got some effects in the background. So let's have a little listen, and I'm going to play around with these live and just have a little listen and see what we can do. Here we go. So it's a bit faster. I quite like that melody, actually. So let's turn the drums down a bit, or even off. A bit more melody, a bit less backing. Okay. So C major. Okay, so we've got something here. Now, I'm not suggesting this is the one I'm going to choose for our song, but you can see it's actually really quite advanced. And those of you that have been playing around with sequencer technology, if I show you, for a good example is GarageBand, which of course I use a lot, and you've all seen here on the channel, you'll see that actually quite a lot of the loops, the block-based music, well, it's kind of similar, but remember, this has never been heard before. This is new music. Now, I think something that would be a bit more appropriate for us, because I'll be honest, that sounds like an advert for a bank. Another one. It needs some glockenspiel and ukulele, of course, but I want something that's going to actually support our goal of writing a piece about singing in a virtual choir. So I'm going to click on orchestra. And what's interesting about the orchestral textures is SoundRaw, because it has this, it's been programmed by people very much thinking about contemporary audiences, contemporary creators. You get a lot of quite heavy filmic kind of music. So you have to filter it through and go for something that's a little bit gentler. And so, see, you've got options for cinematic sound and drama and travel and nature and so on. I'm going to click mood, and I want something that is relatively happy. So we'll get rid of all of the really heavy, depressing stuff. Hopeful. I'm sure you'll all agree, singing in a virtual choir makes one feel quite hopeful. Let's go for peaceful as well. It's not always peaceful around here. Sometimes we do make quite a lot of noise. Let's go for happy, hopeful, and peaceful. And let's see what we've got. Dreamy, elegant, epic, glamorous. I'll take that. Let's have a listen. Here we go. There's some really good questions which I'll be answering in just a minute. I like this. E flat major. Actually, let's work with that. So key-wise, that's E flat major. You've got F minor 7, E flat major with the first inversion in the bass, and then a nice A flat. And that's a perfectly acceptable chord sequence. But as you know, we can change these things. So let's just play around with it for a bit. Let's see what the key option is if we put it up to the next key. And let's play around with the length of it because it's a little bit on the short side. I quite like the style of it though. So let's just click some, and it is just randomly choosing some ideas. And I'm going to just grey out a few of these, maybe make these a little less prominent. So backing one. Oh, excuse me. No melody in this one, interestingly. So that's all right. We can write a melody. And so let's fill these in. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just clicking randomly so that it's just not the same each time as we go through. If we go to volume, let's have the drums. I always quite like the drums to be a little bit softer in the background. There we are. Okay, so let's have a listen to it now. It's having a think. Oh no, it thinks it's playing. So let's turn off Pro Mode and go back here. We are, we're in a different key. So we're now in F major. F. G minor 7. F major first inversion and B flat. I think this would work really quite well for a piece about singing in a virtual choir. It's a bit wave your arms in the air, but I think we can live with it. Okay. For something that's never been heard before, ladies and gentlemen, that's been generated as we are sitting here watching that, I think that's really quite nice. So what we do, if we want to work with that, and of course I could spend a lot longer crafting something, really working out how I wanted things to go. But as we are working here live on a live stream, I'm just going to click here and I'm going to download that music. Okay, now it's going to take a couple of minutes to do that. So we're going to hop over to our good friend ChatGPT. And first of all, I'm going to say, hello, assistant. How are you today? And let's just, because you always want to, now people are saying, Ben, you just hearing those chords and naming them. Yes, Mike, I am. So let's just see, I'm answering some live questions whilst ChatGPT are answering. Feel kind of bad for songwriters. Oh, don't worry, Mark, there's nothing to worry about here. These are tools that songwriters will use. All right, I'm thinking of this, just to go back to full screen, just so we're not being distracted by ChatGPT. The tools that are available here are as powerful as anything that you can use on your computer, whether it's a score program or a sequencer. Think of it as sculpting, where you start with a block of marble and you chip away to reveal the sculpture underneath. That's the way to think about this. It's not the typical composition process, which is additive, where you think of an idea and you add to it and you develop it like knitting. This, you start with a big block of stuff and you kind of chip away and hew at it in order to form the music. That, at least, is how I'm thinking of it. Any other questions? There've been quite a few. Doesn't sound orchestral. This is so a bank advert. Okay, brilliant. So let's see. What did ChatGPT have to say to me? It said, I'm just a computer program. I don't have feelings or experiences, but I'm ready and here to help you with whatever information or assistance you need. How can I help you today? Well, that's very, very polite and very kind of it to say. Well, what I want it to do is to write us a song about singing in a virtual choir. So let's do it. Can you... Oh, it's actually clicking the box. It's a good start. Can you write me a song about singing, winging, in a virtual choir called Home Choir. Its members live all around the world and they sing together and enjoy each other's company. It's terrible English, but thankfully ChatGPT is not going to mark it for me. Here we go. Quick sip of coffee while it has a think. And I can see, everyone, that the song that we asked the sound drawer to generate for us is still downloading 65%, so it'll be ready in a minute. So ChatGPT is having a good old think about this, and I'm sure you'll have appreciated, those of you that have been playing with it quite a lot of the time, it is struggling to keep up with the demand, and I think that's what's going on with this today. So we'll give it a minute. So we'll let it think. So it's downloaded this song. There we go. And so I'm going to pop over to GarageBand, and I'm going to make sure this is ready. Now, I remember this is 70 beats a minute, so I've already set the tempo here to 70, and I'm going to drag this file in as soon as it's downloaded, but it is having a think still. So let's go back to ChatGPT. Oh, no, ChatGPT is not enjoying this one. Well, what I'm going to do, while it's thinking about that, here, ladies and gentlemen, in the fine tradition of the British television programme Blue Peter, here is one that ChatGPT prepared earlier. So I asked it to write a song about singing in a global virtual choir on YouTube. And this is what ChatGPT came up with about an hour ago. In a world that's far apart, we come together heart to heart. Through the screens, we raise our voice. In a global virtual choir, we rejoice. I think that's really rather nice. I do think in a global virtual choir is not the most appealing lyric, but we can work with that. Singing in harmony across the miles, bringing peace and love with every smile. We may be alone, but we are not alone. In this virtual choir, we make our own home. Now, that's a really good chorus. I like that a lot. And if we remember our chord sequence... It's definitely wave your arms in the air, isn't it? I think that will work very nicely. One chord per line. Sing in harmony across the miles, bringing peace and love with every smile. We may be alone, but we're not alone in this virtual choir. We make our own home. Or something to that effect. Let's just check in on the other one. Has it written it? Oh, it has actually written us a new song. Oh, what about this? From every corner of the globe, we come together, hearts in hope. Not sure about that. To sing our songs and raise our voice in harmony, we make a choice. Okay. Home choir, we may be far, but we sing as one. Home choir, our virtual choir, a bond has begun. It's okay. I'm not too sure about the first verse. And so let's regenerate it. I'm going to ask it to write me another song. And, of course, if this was a human being with an ego and thoughts and feelings, if you just go, yeah, not bad, write me another one, and you wouldn't get a very nice response. You'd have to make it a cup of tea. But ChatGPT is very happy to go away and write us another song. So whilst we're waiting for that to happen, and it is definitely having a think, we're going to drop our music, which we got from SoundRaw, and it's downloaded it now, so we can now drop it in. And this is an audio file which has been mixed and created. It's been very carefully mixed. In fact, if I click on here, we can see all the sound waves. We can see just by glancing at it where the different energy levels are. Because when things are getting more energetic, you can see the peaks and troughs are wider apart. You can also see, because I set the tempo to match the tempo of the recording, all of those nice vertical lines indicate the bars. So let's have a listen. This should be familiar because we asked it to generate it. And for those of you who've got headphones on, you can hear it's mixed it in stereo as well. So you've got different instruments coming from different parts of your sound spectrum. Okay. This is very much a song for a global virtual choir. So let's add in a little bit of something. Okay. We need a melody. That's all backing, no melody. So I'm going to just play along. It doesn't matter what instrument I've chosen. So it's F, G minor 7, F, first inversion, and B flat. Here we go. Here's the tune. Sort of blossomed from a tune into just a whole load of vamping. But if I pop that in, yeah, okay, all right. So we'll come back to that. Let's see what the words are looking like. Oh, an error. Let's regenerate that response and see if it can help us after all. Now, people are saying definitely need to be a musician to do this. Agreed. If you're looking to take these ingredients and put them together to create a song, yeah, it really does help to be able to just be able to play a melody on top. Having said that, though, let's go back to SoundRaw because we have this first block of music. But if we just look below, that was literally the first one. So let's click on some of the others. I don't want something that's dark. And interesting, it's got images here, which it's just sort of put in for me. Dark, epic, dreamy, elegant. Let's go for another dreamy, elegant. Let's go for the last one on the list. Why not? Here we go. Oh. That's a little bit too action-packed. Let's have something. Ah. Oh, I like that. I like the cello. Funky bass. In a global virtual choir. Yeah, okay. All right, SoundRaw. Yeah, you had my curiosity, and now you have my attention. Let's add in some bars here, and it's all good. I think we should have the drums a little quieter, bit more bass. Turn the backing down. Instruments-wise, I like that bass. That was a nice bass. The strings were good as well. Actually, I'll leave that as it is, I think. I'm not going to fiddle with that. Tempo-wise, let's go for 74, somewhere in the middle. Dorothy says, can you play it to ringtone and ask it to compose a piece? Not yet, Dorothy. Not yet. No, that's very much a unique talent, I believe, and not something that we're going to be able to get AI to do this year. Maybe next year, though. Maybe next year. Okay, so how's everyone doing? Good, good, good. Okay, so let's go, whilst we're waiting for that, let's see what ChatGPT has done. Okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to see if it can you write me a song about singing in a virtual choir with people from all over the world. Oh, it's actually written it, but it didn't tell me. From every corner of the globe, voices come together in a beautiful ode. Okay, let's look at the chorus. Home choir or virtual choir, bring us together, never any higher, singing in harmony, feeling the love. Yeah, not quite as good as some of the others. We may be miles apart, but our hearts beat as one. In home choir, virtual choir, we've just begun. I'll be honest, folks, I've paid good money for records, CDs, for downloads with worse lyrics than that. So I think we need to just choose a lyric and work with it. And so I'm going to go for some of the ones that it wrote for me earlier on. I like the chorus. Singing in harmony across the miles, bringing peace and love with every smile. We may be alone, we're not alone. In this virtual choir, we make our own home. We're going to work with those lyrics generated by ChatGPT. So let's see what SoundRaw has got for us as it's had a chance to have a little think. Here we go. That bass is really good, but it's a bit too big, isn't it? And A. Fabulous. That definitely sounds like the kind of thing we want. Okay, let's download. Oh, hang on. What happened there? All right, that's grand. I'm going to download that. Actually, hang on. Can it give it to us? So that's in. So I think this, because I'm still quite new to this, folks. KO1, KO2, KO3. There's 3 different options of the key. Let's click KO3. Let's make it work for its money. And whilst it's having a think, how's chat doing? Good, 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 good. Now, whilst we're doing this, and I appreciate we're jumping around, but we have to give these brand new technologies time to really think about these things. We're going to look at something called BlueWillow. Okay, now BlueWillow is an AI image generator, which I appreciate isn't desperately relevant to the creation of a song, except it kind of is, because, well, you know, we judge books by their covers, even though we shouldn't. And I don't know about you, when I was growing up, I had lots and lots of albums, lots of LPs, and I still do, actually. And I used to really love just looking at the cover art of so many of these fantastic albums, and so we need some kind of image in order to be able to kind of sell this. Not that we're going to sell it. So, in order to access BlueWillow, which is an art generator along the same lines as Midjourney, which some of you will have heard of, you need to be you need to sign up for something called Discord. Now, Discord is a really interesting technology just of its own. It is a chat app, and you know, think about the chat in a YouTube live video. Well, this is the chat without the video, so you can create a community and people can come and chat, and you don't need to have some idiot in a beard nattering to you. You can just meet and chat together, and it is a lovely, vibrant community. It's a really interesting thing. You need an account. Doesn't take very long. You put your email address in, create a password. It asks you to click on a few images, usually of sunflowers, to prove that you're not a robot, as long as you're not a robot, and then you can log in. You can download an app which will run this on your computer, but you can also run it in your browser. So what I'm going to do is I'm opening Discord, and I've started a home choir account for this. And if you go to BlueWillow and then say join the beta here in the middle, and then go over to Discord, you will see at the side the BlueWillow community will be there. Now I'm going to click on this, and it will take me in, and you can see a live feed of images that are being created by the community. And if you click on them, you can get them to jump out. I mean, some of them are rather odd. And you can see an ultra realism cat eating sushi with a colourful background. Well, there we are. A little bit creepy. Whimsical abstract desktop background with bright colours and unique lighting source, inspiration from Kandinsky, and so here we are. And at this point, I just want to jump in and say there's a lot in the news at the moment about these AI generators. There are court cases pending about the use of images to train them and so on, and it's absolutely fascinating to see what is going to happen with this technology. It's essential, in fact, these court cases proceed, because that will then guide the direction of this technology. The technology is not going away, but we do need to establish its role in our communities and in our lives. But anyway, how do you use it? Well, down the side, you go along, and when you're just getting started, just click on one of the rookie servers here. Okay, there's all sorts of branches and things. We just want to click on a rookie server because we just want to create something straightforward. Now, at the bottom in the prompt, you type /imagine and then space, and then you write the prompt. So I'm going to write album cover for a choir, for a virtual choir, in a happy, what should we have? Happy cartoon style. And I'm going to hit return, and it's going to have a think for me. And this could take up to 2 minutes. So whilst it's having a think, we're going to go back and we're going to have a look at what SoundRaw has done for us. Okay, good. So if I press play, it should give us this. Oh, I like that. We're now in E major. Same chords though. So we got chord 1, chord 6, chord 4, That's lovely. I like that. I'm not too sure about that transition, but you know, it'll do. So let's download that. And whilst we're waiting for that, and it is a lot of jumping around, I do concede, everyone. Let's scroll on down and see if it's come up with. There we are. So here is, we've got 4 possible album covers for a virtual choir. And sometimes it does something completely random. You can see up here, that's absolutely nothing to do with the virtual choir, though it is quite appealing, quite cheery. This one, you can see this image in the middle looks a little bit odd. This one down here is the one that looks most like a choir. So you go back and you say, I want variations. That's what these mean. U at the top, U1, U2, U3, U4, this is upscale. So you can choose an image to make bigger, so you can then download it and use it on a t-shirt or, you know, as a graphic. But if you like one particular image and you want 4 variations that you can kind of drill into, it goes top left is 1, top right is 2, bottom left is 3, bottom right is 4. So I want variations on the 3rd image. And people are saying we look like Candyland characters. Absolutely. And you can see, this is the thing. There's a lot of work still to be done, and a huge amount of this comes down to the prompt that you use. So if we say an album cover, I'm going to put in another image whilst it's thinking about that, an album cover for a virtual choir. And instead of saying cartoon, I'm going to actually... Oh, goodness me. Now, you see, we are starting to see something rather interesting develop. You will notice, I'm sure, if you can see closely, first of all, it can't do words. It really can't. You'll have to take that out and replace that with the logo and so on. But it's actually kept virtual. It's one of the first times I've seen it actually keep the word and use it properly. Interestingly, when you first glance at it, you think, wow, and then you look closer and you start seeing some really weird stuff, like this lady's ears here. Massive holes in her ears, but for the most part, it's quite nice. So I'm going to ask it to give me variations on 4. I like 4. This one, not too sure, but this one up here, I actually would quite like to see 2 and 4. So I'm going to go back in. Oh, I've lost it. When you're scrolling, look out for the one that's orange rather than grey, so that you can find yours again. So variations on 2 and 4. But I'm going to finish my prompt down here. An album cover for a virtual choir. Ultra realistic, HD, and you learn these prompts by looking at what other people are writing. Let's put cinematic lighting, like this one above. Kimono 78 has put this on here. Cinematic lighting, and let's let it have a think. Oh, okay. So now we're starting to see something interesting. I quite like number 4. I really quite like number 1. Again, we've got some slightly wonky faces, but we're going to have to choose one of these in a minute. So, again, I like that one as well. This top right looks a bit weird. Top left is very odd, but I quite like bottom left. Some wonky faces again in that one. Okay, I'm going to ask it to upscale because we need to actually get on and write this song. I'm going to ask it to upscale. Oh, let's do bottom left and... top left and bottom left. So upscale 1, upscale 3. And whilst it's doing that, with any luck, it'll come up with... Interesting. Okay. So we asked it to give me an album cover for a virtual choir, and it hasn't generated anything about a choir, but it's given me actually some really nice, interesting art effects. And you could see this actually as an album cover for a Haley Weston Ra performance, or even a Tenebrae performance or something. So I'm going to ask it to upscale number 4. Okay, let's leave that, and let's come back and see what we've got in terms of our song now, because we need to get on and actually write. I'm going to get rid of that one from earlier on. It was all right, but it wasn't anything particularly special. And let's remind ourselves, BPM, this was 74 beats per minute. So I'm going to set the tempo here to 74 so it matches. Why is it always nighttime? Ben, ask it to make it sunny outside. I'll do what I can. How's everyone doing in the comments? Ears hung low. Absolutely. Could you put in actual faces? That's really interesting, Caroline. You can make it reference an image. So you can upload an image of yourself and you can say, take this image and make it a cartoon character or make it a Marvel superhero. And I have had to play around with my own face, and no, you are not seeing the results because it is far too hilarious, but maybe one day I will show you. But do have a go at this yourself. That's the thing. BlueWillow is completely free. It uses the same artificial intelligence, which is called Stable Diffusion, as Midjourney, but it doesn't charge you for it, which I think is brilliant, at least not at the moment. So how are we doing with the song download? I do appreciate we are jumping around all over the place today, everyone. Let's drag that in and let's have a little listen. Okay, I'm going to record something along with this. Okay, now because this is audio, and I can use this software here to loop it just as I would with any other audio. And some of you who have been to some of my arranging sessions have seen me do exactly that. So even once it's been created, I can then go in and change it any way I like. I can even change the key and the pitch of some of the notes as I'm going. So let's remind ourselves of the words that ChatGPT gave us. Singing in harmony across the miles, bringing peace and love with every smile. We may be alone, but we're not alone. In this virtual choir, we make our own home. Okay, I'm going to put those over at the side. So here we go. Nice one. We've 5,000. Okay, people are saying if I get to 5,000 subscribers, I will do a session where I put my face into BlueWillow and turn it into cartoon characters and whatever it is you folks decide. That's a really good idea. Thank you, Julie. And right, click subscribe if you want to see that, everyone. So let's record something. Sing in harmony across the miles. The first four bars or so, I'll just leave it as an intro. But I've got my record here. So here we go. Singing in harmony across the miles, bringing peace and love with every smile. We may be alone, but we're not alone in this virtual choir. We make our own home. It's not great, but it'll do. Okay, so let's have a listen back. We need a little bit more of the voice, a little bit less of the backing so we can hear it. Singing in harmony across the miles, bringing peace and love with every smile. We may be alone, but we're not alone in this virtual third line was a bit rubbish. We make our own home. Okay, let's add some harmony to that. So we know that we've got chord 1, chord 6, chord 4, chord 5. Those of you that have been following this channel for a while know I keep going on about how important it is to understand the chords, because then you can, as soon as you hear your first chord, you can start to work out what the rest of them are doing. But let's add in a bit of bass, because it's da 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 1 6 4 5. So here we go with the words by ChatGPT, music by SoundDraw, harmony also by SoundDraw. Here it is. Singing in harmony across the miles, bringing peace and love with every smile. We may be alone, but we're not alone in this virtual choir. We make our own home. Okay, let's add in another part. Put this either side so we know. Let's put something in the middle. We've got that note and that note. So let's put in the third. I might even go up the octave. Let's have a bit of alto this time. It can't be without altos. Sure. It's all tenor and bass at the moment. Singing in harmony across the miles, bringing peace and love with every smile. We may be alone, but we're not alone in this virtual choir. We make our own home. This is really cheesy. But you know me, I'm partial to a bit of cheese. Let's have a listen. Singing in harmony across the miles. Okay, we're getting there. We need to make that sound a little bit more expansive. So I'm going to turn on the Space Designer. How does that sound now? Singing in harmony across the miles, bringing peace and love with every smile. We may be alone, but we're not alone in this virtual choir. We make our own home. Okay, so we have, over the course of the last 40 minutes or so, we've generated a new piece of music using SoundRaw. And people are saying, why is it in this style? Well, that's a really good question. It's Michael who's asked that. Thanks for that, Michael. That's because, well, that just happened to be the style that it served me. There's so many others. If you wanted something more up to date, upbeat, or even dare I say dark or brooding or something, let's click on Tokyo Night Pop. We're not going to add this to the song as is, but let's see what it creates for Tokyo Night Pop. Because all of these styles here: dark, bad, happy, hopeful, dreamy, laid back, romantic, funny, and weird. I think we found our style, folks. This is what it sounds like. And I've never heard this before. Tropical. Well, there we are. All that needs is a bit of Baroque harpsichord, as Alison's just said. You know, this is all of these styles are baked in, and they are adding more and more as they go. So yes, and we're not quite at the point where it can write a Bach fugue, but it has all these styles. You can go away and play with it, and please do. Those of you watching this live, go away after this. Soundraw.io. Go and have a look, go and have a play, create some music. You don't have to pay to play around with it. It's only when you download it and want to use it for something else that you have to pay, which I think is fair enough. It's fabulous. So let's go back to our Discord, and we've got to scroll a while now. Oh, hang on. It's given us these album covers. I mean, that's obviously we'd need to change the writing in here, but you could easily put the home choir logo across there, and you could write our virtual choir, and that's not bad, is it? We got this one as well. I mean, some of they do look like wax models that have been left in front of the radiator for a while, and Bernie Sanders down here is not looking great. But for the most part, I mean, it really is a start. And what you do is you then load it into an art program or something, and you quickly touch up the details, so it doesn't look quite as weird. But I mean, some of the stuff this thing is generating, you know, it really is gobsmacking. So I think this should be our album cover, ladies and gentlemen, for this very, very short piece of music that we have created together today. It's all about a big smile all around the world, and this image here makes me feel nice and cheery. So let's have just a few bars of this brand new song, which will be available on iTunes and Spotify around about never. Here we go. I think I'll do a bit of live piano as well. Singing harmony across the miles, bringing peace and love with every smile. We may be alone, but we're not alone in this virtual choir. We make our own home. Singing harmony across the miles, bringing peace and love with every smile. We may be alone, but we're not alone in this virtual choir. We make our own home. We make our own home. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. I think that will do for today. We've had a bit of an explore into not one, not two, but three interesting new artificial intelligence technologies. And they are, again, ChatGPT, which of course we met last time, soundraw.io, which is really, really interesting from my point of view, and I'm looking forward to getting to know it really well over the next few weeks. And of course, BlueWillow. And if you Google any of these AIs, you'll go straight to them. BlueWillow is completely free. You just need a Discord account, and if that's free as well. Just a little warning with some of these image generators. They do their very best to filter out what's called not safe for work images, NSFW. But you might see some stuff on there which, well, it might turn your hair white if your hair isn't already white from coming along to home choir. So just bear that in mind as a slight parental guidance warning, and you might want to check with your mum and dad before you go on there. Secondly, SoundRaw is completely free unless you want to download it or use it in a commercial setting, in which case it's only, I think it's about £15, £16 for an entire month. And those of you out there that want to create your own music, well, once you've downloaded it, it's yours to use in whichever capacity, which actually has some really interesting implications for creating, well, videos like this one. And then, of course, there is ChatGPT, which is our dear friend, and we'll look forward to speaking to it again very soon. And I should look forward to seeing you again very soon on Sunday, when we will have something completely different. We'll have our next episode of the Sunday Encore. You've got some music by Bach, by Handel, by Vivaldi, by Purcell, and a little extra piece, Harry Burley's My Lord, What a Morning. And in fact, let's just bring back, there we are, My Lord, What a Morning, when the stars begin to fall. BlueWillow saw into the future and knew exactly what image to generate for that. So join us for the Sunday Encore at 11 a.m. on Sunday. Anna and I will be in the chat. And then next week on Monday, we've got a great folk Monday with some English folk tunes. On Wednesday, we're singing a piece by Henry Walford Davies called God Be in My Head, which is gorgeous. And then more fun Friday next week. We'll be back with more AI in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, go and have a play with all this stuff. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you very soon. All the very best, folks. See you. Bye-bye.